My name's Marvin Xfiles, and we are here. Flashpoint. The Flash. I don't know why I keep on calling it Flashpoint. It's called The Flash, but it's based off of the comic known as Flashpoint. And I just got done watching the long anticipated Flash movie. Here's my hall pass right here, only up in cinema. You get this comic if you went to the movies, and you get certain perks if you seen it early. And I pulled some strings, and I got the opportunity to watch The Flash early. Now, this movie is about worlds colliding, and the Flash uses his superpowers to change past events. However, he tries to save his family, but in attempt to doing that, he ends up being trapped in some type of time period, which which General Zod has returned, and now the Flash has to rely on his own abilities. He has to depend on himself, and also he gets into contact with this retired Bruce Wayne, in which he dons the cape again of being Batman, and they also find this Kryptonian, and it isn't our normal Superman. It's Supergirl, and that is the synopsis of this movie. And boy, I may say, the Flash. The Flash, Ezra Miller. Now, he's been getting up in trouble. He's been doing a lot of nasty things that me, as a human being, I do not agree with. He's out of control, and there's no consequences for his actions. And it's crazy that Warner Brothers gave him a multiple choice question of, what do you want to do? That's crazy. Anybody else will not get these type of perks, but Ezra Miller, he's a terrible person. But overall, I would not judge him as a person. I will be judging the Flash movie. Now, Ezra Miller, he didn't do a great job. He was a buffoon. He was clumsy. He wasn't, I say, a masculine man in my eyes. He was very soft, and I couldn't take him seriously. I cannot take him seriously. Even at times, it was very serious moments, and I'm like, yeah, I can't buy it. It's his acting. It just isn't there. I want to thank Zack Snyder for casting Ezra Miller as the Flash. That was a terrible decision, and it shows up in this movie. His performance was not good. It wasn't even decent. It was kind of bad in my eyes. It wasn't good at all. And Michael Keaton, he was the best thing out of this movie. Michael Keaton, he had the action scenes. He didn't have memorable dialogue, but man, he, as soon as they played that Batman theme and that music, and he was doing action, he was flying aircraft. I was like, okay, this is tight. This is tight. I like it. I like it. And you see Michael Keaton putting on the cowl again. I think that's fire to me. That was the best thing out of this. If you've seen any of the Batman Return live actions, then you'll know, man. So he was the ray of light up in this movie, was Michael Keaton. He was that strong, bright ray of light. Because everything else, it gets choppy at times. But here or there, and Supergirl, Sasha Calle, Calle, I cannot pronounce her name. I know I butchered it, but she wasn't. I didn't understand her purpose up in this movie. She was not needed, and she did a okay job, but they did not give her much. They did not give her much, and also the return of General Zod. He didn't do absolutely nothing. He didn't even say much. I was like, what the heck is going on? Where's his build up? Him being a a a strong antagonist. It wasn't there. It wasn't. It was missing. This movie was missing. General Zod, he was this big old almighty threat, but I didn't see it up in the movie. I was like, huh? That's how, that's how, and they do Zod. I mean, Zack Snyder, man, he gave Zod a lot more than up in this Flash movie. They did not do him justice whatsoever, man. He was a real letdown. He was a letdown. And also in the girl, I forgot her name, his henchman and the other guy, and they didn't even say much. And they was just there because I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. The only good thing from this movie is Michael Keaton. That's it. And the story is choppy, and these jokes were bad. This movie was not funny. It wasn't even these jokes. The delivery, it wasn't good up in my eyes. It tried so hard to be funny, and it wasn't. It wasn't. This movie, it wasn't funny, and you have like certain scenes that did not make sense, like Flash, um man, this is a spoiler, man. Freak that. Flash, he had lost his power, and like he tries to recreate what made him the Flash, and they tried twice, and it didn't work. He had the chemicals up in front of him to freaking spill on him, and then it took his freaking double ganger to freaking give him back his power. I was like, what the heck? That don't make any sense. That didn't make any sense. He was there, and then how you even lose your powers up in the first place? That made no sense. He knew in the time and the moment it would happen. How'd you get struck? Oh my god, that bothered me a lot, man. This movie, and also time travel, and it can get kind of I want to say it wasn't thoroughly explained in the time traveling, man. They expect us as the audience is to just catch on, or oh, and you read in the comic books, right? Like, nah, explain this time traveling. It wasn't done well. It was half-assed, but it was decent, but it wasn't as good as I expected it to be. And also the Flash. The Flash, these fighting scenes weren't done well up in my eyes. They were like, they could have been done better, and the CGI was kind of like choppy at times. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This is bad CGI, and the fight scenes, man. I did not like the fight scenes up in this movie. I didn't enjoy them. Like, I'm like, okay, it was okay. It was decent, but it wasn't like, oh great, it's mind blowing, it's spectacular. I was expecting more. If you got the Flash up in here, and they kept on slowing down time and all that. There's a lot of that up in this movie. A lot of that, just a lot of it. And if you read the synopsis, it tells you the whole entire movie. That's crazy. People had seen this movie early, bro. It was a lot of just early free screeners and all, and I'm like, what is going on here? why is this movie is being available and like it isn't even close to the due date? That's crazy. That made no sense in my eyes. So I'm like, okay, man, something is up. I don't know what is going on, and Tom Cruise and those people and those high status people who seen this movie early, they capped a lot, man. They capped a lot. They lied their asses off, and they only gave the Flash praise is the fact that they had seen it like 2 months early, I think. But this movie isn't a good superhero movie. It has a lot of nostalgia. It likes brings the whole DC heroes up in live action, and you see them like Nicolas Cage, Richard Donner, and all of those people. Everybody, it brings it all in one. It's a whole across the Spider Verse, but done just terrible. Just terrible is done, and Flash's duplicate, like he was trash too. Like it wasn't. This movie is not the best superhero movie. This movie is not better than the Earth Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. This movie, it isn't. It isn't. It isn't good. It isn't. It isn't great. It has flaws. It isn't. It just this movie. It has issues. It has a lot of issues. It has a lot. The time traveling, it wasn't done. It wasn't done well up in my eyes. And then everything, it didn't. But what was the whole purpose of him even going back and to save his mom? And just for the consequences of like what happened, it was supposed to be a lesson for the Flash. Like I don't know, man. I mean, I was like, okay, time travel, okay, cool. So overall, we're back to where we started. His mom died, and the only thing is that his dad is out of prison. Wow. So he changed up the cameras, and he proved that his dad is innocent. That was, yeah, action scenes were trash. This movie, if I have to give this movie a grade, I would give it a C plus. This movie gets a C plus from me. It isn't worth the. It's just I expected more. I was hoping the antagonist up in this movie was trash, bro. General Zod was garbage. He was not done well. He didn't even have any screen time or like any lines on. I was like, where is his script at? He ain't saying much. And but what is going on? It's bad. And the Flash gets a lot of screen time. Of course, it's a Flash movie, but man, oh my gosh, he can't act. As Ezra Miller, he cannot act, and it shows. He has no acting chops, and this is the Flash. And me, I give this movie a C plus. If it doesn't got that X, that stamp, isn't real. It isn't authentic. My name is Marvin Xfiles, and that's my review on the Flash. That's all I have to say, man. This movie, I wouldn't recommend it, but I would say you guys go out and watch it, so you would be up in the loop. And I want to say this, that Zack Snyder, Man of Steel is way better than this movie. That's a fact. It's 10 times better. It has way better story, action. This action is so forgettable. Zack Snyder reigns supreme in making the best DCEU movie, and the Flash. This It isn't that great. It isn't great. It isn't great at all. It isn't great. It isn't spectacular. It is not the best superhero movie. Don't buy those lies. Those are all lies to get seats up in that freaking theater. This movie is not that. My name is Marvin Xfiles. Two fingers.